Good morning. You're listening to Central Wisconsin's 24-hour information station, AM 1320 WFHR. It's time now for the Morning Magazine, brought to you by Comfort Air Heating, Cooling, Plumbing.
Welcome, everyone, to Morning Magazine for this April 21st, 2021. Your host, James J. Malouf, here. At 10:30 today, we're going to speak with our friends from Lakeland University, get an update from them. Right now, though, we have with us in studio Wisconsin Rapids Mayor Shane Blaser. Good morning, Shane.
Good morning, James.
And we have our friends from Wisconsin Rapids Community Media. I want to say hi to Kev and the friends over there. Good morning to them. Thanks for being here. Mayor, how are you today?
I'm well. Thank you.
Good to hear. Things holding up all right with you on your end?
Yeah, they're plugging along. Anytime we get some spring weather and some sunshine, it seems to help out things. Also, congratulations, I believe, are in order for you. That I see on Facebook.
Yeah. Thank you.
Promotion?
Thank you. Yes. Boy, it is hard to take me off guard. You just did. Well played, sir. Well played. It's not good to make me speechless, though. I got to talk here. But thank you for that.
Yes, congratulations.
It's an exciting time around here. It really is. There's fun things going on for our community and this station, which are intertwined. And it's going to be really fun as things go forward and unfold. I wanted to touch on base with you about a couple of things like that for our community, for our city. And it kind of starts with the city council meeting you guys had yesterday. How did that go?
Yeah, it went well. It was our yearly reorganizational meeting where new council members are sworn in and committee assignments are done. And, it was challenging. We have 3 new alderpersons. And we have 2 that have been on for a year or less, but they all bring some experience to their positions, which will always create better discussions, dynamics based on those experiences. And I'm always been a favor of change, so change is good. But there's a learning curve and a lot of questions, which is, it helps make us better also, helping provide information and getting the new people up to speed.
You got to do the tour, show them around, let them know where things are and everything. But I admire that, and it's one of the things that right away I appreciated about you, that you know that you don't know everything. And I think the best leaders, the best people in positions like yourself, or even on a city council or anything like that, get that. And that we're better off the more different, personalities and different sets of, opinions we have. And people bringing different bits of intelligence to the conversation that from their wheelhouse and that kind of thing.
Yeah, and I think that's important. I clearly state that I'm not the smartest guy in the room, but, it's about managing an organization where you hopefully hire a lot of great people to be able to fill those roles that have that necessary expertise, because whether you're being a mayor or on a city council, it's impossible to know everything. And coming into it, you can't. It's not fair. It's not fair to the public. I think it's kind of disrespectful to the people that are in, those department head positions that have gone to school, have a wealth of experience, that you need to kind of rely on that and definitely take that in as part of the recommendations. Ultimately, you need to make a decision, and the more people that you have surrounding you, hopefully can make a better informed decision.
Yeah, well said. I couldn't agree more. And I think that's, while especially in high political positions, it's really, really important and vital. I think almost every industry is better off when the management approaches things that way. That the smartest people that I've ever known realize what you just said, that I'm not the smartest person in the room. That it's not even it's not so much about that there are different levels of intelligence, or different people that are better at different things. We've all heard street smart and book smart, that kind of thing. So a little of that, and it doesn't hurt. It makes all of our area stronger, bringing in different people, different opinions. So the new members, that incorporating them, that went over pretty well.
Oh, absolutely. Yep. They stepped in, and now it's just that learning curve for them, and they bring their own experiences. Whether it's a person from the county, or there's a gentleman that's in construction and a small business owner. And so they're going to bring these new experiences that they have, or their life experiences, to this group. And it creates for good dialogue.
Well, and as a council member, I know that you get a free parking space. A couple million a year. You have a jet. Little thing. No, it's one of the things that I think that we take lightly with when it comes to these positions, and people that take on these positions. Is this isn't necessarily a Rockefeller gig. This isn't one of those jobs that's gonna you're gonna be able to retire from something like this or what have you.
No.
These are people that traditionally that take these positions positions care about their community, want to put back into their community. They're investing one of the most valuable things we have, our time, into our communities.
Yeah, it's not about the money you make because like you said, you'll never get wealthy. There's a lot of other things a person can do if they want to accumulate wealth, but it is something about care for your community, care for your neighbors, and and especially on the city council, they're doing this above and beyond their regular lives too,
Right.
and so they're giving up evening time with their family and friends to try to help make the community better.
I like to bring this up when we have Representative Krug on too, and everything. These positions, he has a day job. He has being a representative in that, and he also has a night job where he's trying to do real estate and that kind of thing. And then he has family life. It's no different with the council members or anybody else in these positions. More times than not, it isn't just the one thing that they do. And we should show some appreciation of that. It's not even about whether you agree with their political positions and all that stuff. That's all personal and your choice. I think all of us can respect and be thankful for them taking on these jobs, because not everybody does. And oftentimes you get people taking these positions for the wrong reasons sometimes. And we're very fortunate in this area. Whether it's the city council members or any of these other things, we have people doing these for the right reasons.
Yeah, some people kind of get into it because they have a single issue and they want to see that issue corrected. And the problem is once that issue's corrected or it's not resolved to their liking, then what? So
They tune out.
Yeah, so it's you have to think about it is greater than that, and it can be difficult at times. But and we're not always going to agree, and you can't go into this thinking that everyone's going to agree with you because. I don't know. To me, life would be boring if we all agreed.
Agreed. Yes.
But we can agree to the common phrase. We can agree to disagree, but hopefully, there's an overlap that we can agree on some other things. We may not agree on this issue, but
I think that one of the things that I noticed from yourself, from a number of different people that I talk to, is getting. Where as a society, it seems like so many people are like, oh, we got to please as many people as possible. We got to try to please everybody and that kind of thing. The more when you get closer to it, the more rural politicians and that sort of thing get that we're going to try to do our best to take care of as many people as we can. But we understand that we're not going to make everybody happy. That not every single human being or every citizen is going to be happy with this. Nope. It's an endless fight that'll never end if you're trying to do that. So you're trying to do the best thing that's overall for the best. Overall for the community and those kind of things. And then, I think the better we are as voters and citizens of understanding that people are doing the best that they can and trying to do the best for millions of different opinions, better off we're going to be with all this.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
The idea that politics is going to solve all your problems or anything is never going to happen. We have to get back to kind of individual responsibility a bit more, I think.
Absolutely.
It's nice to see some new council members, to see some people taking on these kind of things and such. So we just want to take a second to thank them for doing this. I appreciate that. Was there anything that came out of the meeting that were noteworthy, you think? Certainly, I imagine all of it was noteworthy, but anything you want to bring up?
It's more just business type things, assigning committee assignments and, the planning commission, Water and Light has a new council representative. And so it was just a lot of getting ready now to start the business for this next year.
We're certainly you mentioned it earlier. We're all excited about having some sunshine, and our days are a little longer and everything. And we all know what season it is. It is orange cone season. It is that season. And our roads have been getting worked on from the get-go right away. How's that going?
Good. Like you said, orange cone season. We have a finite amount of time, and we try to squeeze in what we can during that time. And so, our construction crews are out and they're busy and they're getting to work to get on the Sears projects.
You guys came up with something, and we've been talking about this a bit when we can over the airwaves here, your new interactive street closure map. And you can find that by going to WIRapids.org. Just click on the roadwork icon, and encourage you to do that, even if you're not interested in anything street closure-wise. It's just kind of a cool thing. It's a really neat thing. Where did that come from?
I don't know where it originated from, but our Justin Connor, our GIS specialist, he's the one that does all the mapping and all that coordination. And
that's cool.
Yeah, it is amazing, and it's real time, and you can look and kind of see what's coming up and where these street closures are.
And, I got to think, and I don't know, we're not going to know, for a while here until we have the stats from these kind of things and stuff. But I think that stuff like that is going to hopefully lower any, chances of accidents and those sorts of things. That it'll give people a little bit more heads up that what's going on. I know that most people, especially my listeners in the city areas and everything, they check traffic reports before they even hit the road. So I think a lot of people, they get in the habit of looking at these things and okay, well, I got to take this way instead of that way, or I got to maybe I'm going to leave a little early because I know I got to go through slower through these areas.
Correct, and that's important, and the more informed that we all can be, just the easier our day can be.
How many things can we talk about that literally every person, no matter what age, who they are, or whatever, use? We all use these roads. We all need these roads in good shape. We all want these roads in good shape. But you can't have one without the other. They need to be worked on in order for that to happen.
Exactly.
And human beings are working on these roads and need to slow down, need to keep an eye out for them. There are too many times, if it happens once, it's too many times of workers just trying to do their job, getting, hit or something like that because somebody can't slow down. It's also something, and I'm kind of reaching here a little bit, but I can't help but bring up as well when it comes to slowing down and taking a little more time. We're ramping up towards the end of the school year. And we need people to do this with our bus drivers as well and our school buses, and keeping an eye out for kids. We are the adults. We're the ones. If you expect a kid to look both ways every single time that they're crossing the road, you've never been a parent. You've never babysat a kid before. We have to be the adults in this situation. Slow down. Take your time. Take a wide look at that road. I can't speak for anybody else, but I'm tired of reporting about kids getting hit and these kind of things, or our workers getting hit and these sorts of things. Slow down. Just take your time. Nothing needs to be there that quickly.
Yeah, and especially now that our schools are getting back open full time and just kind of getting back into that routine, and there are more kids out running around and getting on buses and walking to school and riding their bikes, and yeah, I think it's very important to be aware of that.
Yeah, and while that doesn't, affect the street closure map, of course, this map, I think anything that helps people, giving them a little bit more just presence, a little more being in tune and stuff, and hopefully not looking at their phone or jamming in music or something like that, and just kind of focusing on the road and the task at hand.
Yeah, and if people are just curious what's going on somewhere, they can just look and say, oh, okay, that's what they're doing there.
Yeah, I got to admit, I've looked at it more out of just curiosity than I have just to gauge if I have to leave early or anything like that. It's just kind of cool app. It's just kind of a neat thing. And it's a great way to keep up on this stuff. A great way to keep up on all the street closures as they progress. And for me and my dad, I know, because my dad's a longtime construction worker and everything, he sees this and he likes to see the progress and the evolution of it and everything, and especially once it's finished. And there's very few people that like driving down a new road like my dad. Like I feel like he feels every little bit of it and everything. So it's kind of cool, and it's a neat app. Again, you can find it at the city's website. Go to wirapids.org and just click on the roadwork icon. I did want to mention, too, Director of Public Works Joe Terry does a fantastic job. Joe keeps us in the loop with all these street closures and different things. If you have suggestions or comments, you can contact him as far as the street closure map. Just email him, jterry@wirapids.org. Mayor, I know that we're getting closer and closer to some of the big holidays this summer. The big one, of course, is the 4th of July. Last year, we weren't able to necessarily celebrate like we wanted to and everything. How is that looking for this year?
So, yeah, we've met internally, and the 4th of July will go on.
Hey.
Yep, so looking forward to having fireworks and vendors and, all the activities that we enjoy over the 4th of July in our community, and so we are planning and progressing that will be taking place.
That's some big news. That's fantastic. And something that I know that people are going to be excited about, clearly, and all that. But I can tell from you yourself that you're excited yourself. I mean, your staff, I imagine, is too.
Yeah, I think we need to get back and start enjoying some of our summer activities and the things that we enjoy doing, and it's time.
And when it comes to it, and we're gauging this out a month or two ahead of time and everything, so things can change, of course. But looking at it right now, even with keeping with a lot of the CDC guidelines and stuff, we can still have a good time. We can still have an event like this.
Yeah, and we're still, like you said, a few months away, and
Anything can happen,
Anything,
and some of
yeah.
these guidelines could be loosened up. Some of them can be
Absolutely.
tightened up. We don't know.
Yeah, they constantly change.
It's a fool's errand to try to predict what's going to happen tomorrow, let alone in July. But as it is right now, and if the trend continues the way it has with the amount of people being vaccinated, numbers going down in certain areas, and certainly in this area, and those sorts of things, we can look forward to something like that, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and the benefit of it is, our fireworks display is pretty amazing. And if you don't want to be by the group of people downtown, there's plenty of other spots that you can watch from a distance and still enjoy the show. I mean, if you feel more comfortable and want to come downtown and take part in the activities down there, then you're welcome to do that, though. So you have plenty of choices.
It comes back to, again, the personal responsibility thing, and knowing, hey, if I don't feel comfortable in this scenario, I'll watch from my house this year. Or I'm not feeling that good. I feel a little sick. I have a little symptoms or whatever. I'm not going to go. Or I feel completely fine with all this. I'll wear a mask. I'll keep my distance. I'm going to go enjoy some fireworks. It's personal choice.
Exactly.
And that's not that hard to do. It really is looking in the mirror, making a decision. That's about it.
That's all you need to do, and whatever your comfort level is.
And when it comes to actually now, it's all well and good to say we want to do this and stuff, but we're not that far out from it. How is the planning going with setting this up and everything?
It's going well. It's kind of something you can pull off the shelf, and we can get the folder open and just kind of update it. And we have our fireworks vendor already, and so the plan is already pretty much in place. We're just confirming things and making sure it's, processes are being followed and the safety precautions and those people are in place. And it should be a good event.
Great. As we get closer to it and details come out, we'll let our audience know more and more about it. But just right on the front, that's just some great news. That's our good story of the day, really. That's fantastic. I wanted to ask, kind of rewinding a little bit to the winter that we just had. It's the last time we had talked about it and everything. It seemed like that we didn't need our plows and our as much as we thought we might this year, or we budget for certainly and everything. Is that how that ended up turning out? I'd like to knock on wood because I shouldn't say that we're not going to get any more snow. I should know better. It's still April. I apologize, everybody. If we get snow, it's my fault now. But in theory, it looks like we're not going to get any more snow. We shouldn't need our plows anymore and everything. How did that all end up wrapping up?
So it's budgeting is kind of unique because we have the workforce, and so if the workforce isn't plowing, that plow budget looks good, but you still have that workforce doing something else.
Right.
And so, a lot of times in the wintertime, they'll spend time brushing, tree cutting, tree trimming. So that budget ends up looking inflated. So it's really kind of shifting budgets around. So, we don't have this pot of gold at the end of the winter because we had a nice winter. But our equipment doesn't have as much use on it, or a big cost for us.
That's
is
a
salt.
positive.
Yep, and salt is a huge cost. So we have salt available, and we don't have an empty salt shed that we now need to refill, and those kind of things. So you do save money on other areas.
The work that those workers did was stuff and projects that was going to need to be done. So the fact that they were able to have some time to be able to work on those projects, that's a time saver. That's a benefit right there.
Absolutely.
So that is it's smart budgeting. That's smart management. I didn't know that's how that worked behind the scenes. That's really interesting, and really that's the way to do it, I would think. Again, I shouldn't pretend like I know a whole lot about this stuff, but from what I know of it, that is the way to kind of. That's the way smart businesses run, and not to say that our government that is a business, but when you're talking about budgets and everything, you kind of have to take that approach, and you can't just let your workforce just sit there and everything.
Right.
It's smart to put them to good use.
Absolutely, there's always something to be done, and even I think they did a bunch of updating at painting at the Centralia Center. It hadn't been painted in a very long time. So, some of those things that may always not be so glamorous and fun, but it's work and it needed to be done, and it'll look nice. And, some of these other outside projects. And then our early spring gave us an opportunity to jump on our construction projects.
That's a benefit right there, especially with as much needs to be done there. We know that we don't have that much of a time frame of summer, of this warmer weather to work in. That's part of the reason why you saw the orange cones go up as soon as the sun came out, really, on that kind of thing, because we have a lot to do and we don't have a whole huge time frame to do it in. Exactly. It's nice to get to those projects a little early, anything that you can a little early. And you touched on something perfect. All of us, Kev, you, I, we've all worked many jobs where they told us, if there's no standing, or there's always something to do. There's always something that you can always keep busy at a job. Every job is really like that.
I had a high school job. Their motto was, if you can lean, you can clean, you know? And so it was like, exactly. There's always something to be done.
There is. No different with that position. No different with a job like that. Mayor, was there anything you wanted to touch on that we didn't have a chance to so far today?
I think we covered it pretty well.
Okay. I do want to let people know about any upcoming meetings or trustee meetings or anything like that they should know about. Is there anything coming up that we want to let people know about?
Well, I think people can keep an eye on the library. They're doing a multi-million-dollar renovation there in their adult spaces and maker spaces, and those there's some meetings, and we're going to start seeing activities coming up at the library, which people need to be aware of and be cautious of, but. I believe the library will continue to operate as they have been, but there will be construction going on. And
some fun things going on over there with that. And, they got some great projects and a lot of wonderful things coming up over there.
Yep, and we'll have some fire department redesign coming up, and those will be coming into meetings, and those renovations happening at our 2 fire departments for updating and gender equality and. Some of those type of things will be happening there also.
Do we have a start date for any of that, or just kind of a tentative one? Or
I don't think a tentative, maybe July-ish.
Yeah,
somewhere around there.
I always like leaning on the ish. That's a go-to for me and everything. 8-ish, 9-ish, that kind of thing. Yep. The McMillan Memorial Library Board of Trustees are meeting today, and then the library's capital campaign committee is meeting tomorrow. Just to let people know about that. And I encourage people to sign up. Go to wirapids.org, sign up for notifications and that sort of thing. It's a great way to keep up to date on all this stuff.
Yeah, it's really easy to do.
And if people have follow-up questions that they were to reach out to you, Mayor, they want to tell you what a great job you're doing or something like that, because that's the only reason they'll call you, right?
Exactly.
It's positive stuff. If people do want to reach out to you, I always know you like to give your information.
Yep, so you can email me at sblaser@wirapids.org, or you can call me at 715-421-8202 is my direct line.
We appreciate everything you're doing for our community, all the great work you're doing out there. Please stay safe, keep it up, and we're looking forward to talking again real soon.
I look forward to it also.
Thanks a lot for being with us. Mayor Shane Blaser being here today. Thanks so much for that. And a big thank you to Kevin, our friends at Wisconsin Rapids Community Media, and the great work that they do. Appreciate you guys. We will take a quick commercial break and come back with more Morning Magazine on AM 1320. This is WFHR.